Today, our guests are perfect representative of these women who we continue to stand with. They have achieved great feats and overcome insurmountable challenges. Extraordinary women doing extraordinary things. They can do this because, well, they are women. So now we're going to welcome Joselyn and Christine. They're going to tell us all about this period cup, something that I've never heard of before. So let's bring them on. Joselyn Dumas. Joselyn is actress, TV host, and humanitarian. Passionate about children and their developmental issues, Joselyn Dumas' career in film and television is secondary to the work she does supporting and advocating for youth. Ladies and gentlemen, Joselyn Dumas. Christine Garde-Denning. Christine has devoted her life to caring for the poor and making the world a better place. Forbes magazine named Christine one of the 40 over 40 women who are reinventing, disrupting, and making an impact globally. Ladies and gentlemen, Christine Garde-Denning. Welcome,
Hi.
ladies. It is so great to see you. I know you are in Ghana right now, Joselyn, right?
Yes,
What time is it there?
it's 10:20 p.m.
Okay, so we had some change in time, which is awesome. I'm glad we get some extra time, and it's good to have you. Thank you for taking the time out and to accept us this invitation this late at night. So I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Christina, it is so good to have you, and thank you for introducing us to your partner, Joselyn.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
I have never heard anything about this period poverty. But I do know that there are problems with young women and their menses and going to school and getting education. But you took it a little further. You're talking about women selling themselves, girls selling themselves in order to get money to take care of their menstrual hygiene. So tell us a little bit about the period cup and what's how you got started with it and how you got Joselyn involved. Christine.
Okay. So the way I got involved with this issue is I was working in Mozambique and we were looking at education. We were helping the Ministry of Ed and we were teaching teachers how to identify illiterate students and get them literate in 5 months. But in the course of the work, our partners on the ground began to talk to us about this fact that 96% of the girls were starting kindergarten and only 11% were ending up in secondary school. And you cannot build a nation without girls. And so we began to look into what are the reasons why girls were not going to school. And we understand that there's lots of reasons, but there was one reason that came up that felt very solvable, and it was menstruation. And so we started to get guidance from the world's leading researcher on the issue. Her name is Penelope Phillips Howard. She's out of Liverpool School. She has done a ton of studies that show the issue around menstruation, especially in rural Africa. And she also had a lot of studies that showed the menstrual cup, which is something I had never even heard of until her, and how the menstrual cup was the safest, greenest, most inexpensive product. And when I learned about it, and then I started to use it, I thought this could change the world. And so we began to focus specifically on introducing the menstrual cup into communities where girls can't afford pads, and then breaking taboos and stigma. And the cup itself lasts 10 years. So when a girl has it, she never has to buy another product for a decade, and that's a life changer. So we began to do the work, and we are really excited about it. We've watched each community that we're in. It works. It changes. Girls.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me how you got this beautiful woman from Ghana, actress, TV personality, which is a perfect person, I think, to get the message out to that community. So welcome again, Joselyn, and tell us how you guys met and your humanitarian involvement with this period cup.
Okay, thank you. And hi, Christine. It's good to see you. We haven't spoken in quite a while now, but it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So I think this started about 3 years ago. I have a foundation for children that I run, women and children in Ghana. And I also do something with climate change. And so I think 3 years ago, I was going to Bonn to speak on the Global Landscape Forum with regards to the environment and preserving the water bodies like the sea and stuff like that. So I think my main focus was on plastic waste. And so I took a holistic approach on how all these things affect, especially the girl child. And so in the process, I had to narrate a story, create a narrative around, a fisher folk who have a daughter and a son, and obviously because of the plastic waste in the water bodies, the father could not go to fish and catch enough fishes to bring to the wife to sort of grill and sell for the upkeep of the house. So when that happens, one child would have to drop out of school, and it's always the girl child that drops out of school. So it becomes like a vicious cycle of, so now the girl child drops out of school, and then she has to join her mother in the marketplace. She now has to start working to fend for herself, because then obviously there's not enough income coming in, since the means of income being like fishing is kind of like, destroyed by plastic waste. So now she in turn now starts, getting involved in bad company. She meets a guy who promises her that I'm going to buy you everything, including your sanitary products and everything, because they can't afford it, basically. And then obviously the guy also promises to send her back to school. And then now she falls into bad hands, bad company. And that's her future right there. It's gone, really.
Yeah.
So in the process, I also realized that in Ghana, we have a lot of period poverty issues here, where there's a lot of taboo, like Christine said in the beginning. There's certain people in certain parts of Ghana that cannot cross a river or a water body to go to school, because a river is a deity, and so when you have your menses, you can't cross the river. And there's so many things, that the boys will laugh at them. Some of them will soil themselves in class. Some of them are sick. They can't afford hygienic stuff for their menses. And so they miss 5 or 6 days of class. So they come back and they're lagging behind. And so then the boys are moving forward and they're leaving the girls behind. So I was thinking of how, apart from obviously the plastic waste issue, which is a big global issue, that is where I got that thought of, oh my God, what can I do to sort of help these children, these girl children? And obviously I also shot a movie that featured a street hawker. And I remember one night we went to shoot the movie, and they were so happy to have the camera crew, the TV people around. And I saw one girl with a plastic bag, tied around her waist, and then she had a cloth over herself. So I was curious, because I was playing one of them, so I had to talk to them and sort of come down to their level. And I asked her, I said, why do you have this plastic thing? She's like, oh, I'm on my menses, and I don't have enough money to buy soap to wash my cloth in the morning, and so I'm using this plastic thing just in case I bleed. It's just going to go over the plastic bag or plastic sheets that she has, so that my cloth is not going to be soiled, and I can use that to go and sell in the morning. And I was thinking, oh my God, how many sanitary towels can I give these children or these girls in a month, in a year, in years? And then I think my friend and I were going online, researching on what we can do to help. And then Christine and CouldYou came up. And we're like, oh my God, what is this? So we read about it, and then we quickly contacted Christine, and the rest is
that is so beautiful. It's as a matter of fact, it's already spreading like wildfire. I do a lot of work in Malawi with girls, and I remember last year that we didn't go last year because of COVID, but the year before, many of our ladies from here, we brought some sanitary pads that were made that the girls could use. And we have a lot of girls who we're teaching to sew, and they have machines and all of that. So we showed them how they could make these things and wash. But then again, we talk about the water. Do they have the water to wash? So that's why I think this amazing device that you have, I think could work. I was talking with some of my folks from Malawi last week, and we told them about it. So we're looking, Christine, to talk to you a little bit more about it. But how did you come about it, Christine? Was it a prototype? Was it something that's been around for a long time and we just didn't know about it? Or
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's been around over 82 years. And it should be as normalized as the tampon, but it isn't. And a part of me thinks maybe that's because people would rather you spend $10 a month for 38 years of menstruating than spend $10 4 times in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I heard about it, I thought, why aren't American schools teaching about it? Why is it now it feels like there is an environmental group of people who talk a lot about it. So I feel like it's much more known in parts of Europe, and it's becoming more known today than it was a few years ago. But you're right, it's fairly unknown, and yet it has been around for 80 something years. And so that's why we're on a mission to grow and spread the word, to spread awareness. And that is where Joselyn has been so really key, because a lot of the girls in these vulnerable communities, they're not using tampons. So they're used to just a pad. So when we are asking them about this new product that they have to insert, there are so many cultural taboos. And the only way to break them is when community people that the girls know about, that they respect, that mothers and grandmothers and fathers know about and respect, when those people come into a community and they say, I use it, it works, it's safe, ask me any questions, if this could help you stay in school, they are able to start the conversation in a way that we never would or could. And so I feel like Joselyn's been able to leverage her influence for good, because people love her, but she's also using it. And so she can be a human testimony to say it works and it's healthy.
Beautiful. But I heard they also use it a lot in Europe. But another question that I wanted to ask is, do you have the cup with you? Because I wanted you to show the cup. You know, many of these things about women, this is Women's History Month. So I thought it was a perfect opportunity to do this. A lot of these things are like taboo. And we want to make it that it is not. It is just a part of our natural humanness and a normal physiological process that women go through. And it should be looked at as normal. And as Hillary Clinton once says, you know, women's right is human rights, women right, and menstrual right. All of these things are human rights. So let's see it. Let's look at it and see how we can do. Can you kind of try to do a little demonstration?
Yes,
because, you know, of course, you know, contraception, we have diaphragms, but this is deeper. It appears it's a little deeper.
So this is what it looks like. And it's very soft. It's medical grade silicone. And so you can fold it and shape it and make it very small. So you can insert it. It's a little bit the size of a tampon at this point. And then you literally insert it.
And then it opens.
It opens.
Right.
It catches the blood. The beautiful thing is that air doesn't touch it. It doesn't have a smell. And you don't get bacteria. And here's what is amazing about it. There's a misperception out there that girls in Africa, if they don't have good water, should not use it. But that's not true. That's exactly why they should use it. And here's why. As long as they have clean hands, which every community, before a girl goes to school, even if her mother had to walk and start a fire and boil water over an open fire, her daughter will have clean hands. If she has clean hands and she inserts it, she can be in a latrine 12 hours later. All she has to do is empty it, reinsert right there. She doesn't even need to rinse it. Now, you can rinse it, but you don't have to. And then you keep it in up to 12 hours, empty it again. At the end of your cycle, all you do is boil it for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you store it in a cotton carrying bag. And this is one of them. And our bags are made locally in every community. So in Ghana, for instance, we partner with local NGOs in every country, and marginalized women will make the bags. We pay them 50 cents per bag, which you can make a lot of bags. And a lot of the women we're working with, it sets them up economically. Some of them start sewing businesses. And this particular bag is made from our partner in Uganda called Rahab. And it is actually a nonprofit that is working with little girls ages 7 to 17 who have been sex trafficked, and they're trying to get out of the industry and have a whole life. And so this is part of their program where they make the bags that our cups are
Yeah.
made in America.
That's awesome. You know, my girls in Malawi, they like I said, they do so different material, different things,
Perfect.
clothing and bags and all of that. So that would be great for them. Back to you, little Jocelyn. So, how are you communicating this to your community, and are you getting any headway? What kind of efforts are you getting? And have you tried any governmental agency, or would the schools, whoever fund the schools or students? Are you able to reach out to any governmental agency that would be able to assist in terms of making sure that all kids have access to this cup?
Yeah. So, thank you. I think in the beginning, before COVID, we had covered a few of the schools in the rural areas, and that is where I found out that a lot of the young girls are being lured into sex, and in exchange for money to buy their sanitary pads and stuff like that. I mean, what we do is we've done a lot of outreaches in the schools. We don't just talk to the girls when we go, we talk to the boys as well. Because my issue with this whole thing is a lot of times we try to sort of bring the girls out and then speak to the girls thinking that, oh my God, this is something that we're trying to, the girls are a bit embarrassed and we don't want to involve the boys. But I felt the need to involve the boys, especially because they're the ones that will tease the girls. And some of the girls will complain and say, well, madam, when I bring my sanitary pad to school, they take it out and then they'll be, showing it to everybody in the class and everybody know that I have my menses and I'm embarrassed, so I don't want to come to school. So I feel like we can't educate ladies and then leave them in the hands of savages, So we have to educate them holistically to know that this is something that you can't tease a girl about. This is something very normal. This is very natural. And if anything at all, this is the time where you have to actually be a lot more nicer to the girl when they're going through their cycle and stuff like that. So we covered a lot of schools. We covered some of the street hawkers as well. We gave them a lot of free sanitary cups, thanks to Christine. But one of the things that also came up is voodoo and tradition, and some of the girls are complaining that when they leave their sanitary pads on the trash or in the incinerator, some of these people would go for it and use them for voodoo. But once you're able to empty the in the drain, the blood goes and then nobody really cares. So everybody has their beliefs and stuff. But
solving problem. That is awesome.
I get that from the street hawkers,
Solving problems. That's what we do as women. It's Women's History Month. We're gonna have to continue this conversation another time, but it's Women's History Month, and I'm just gonna go for just a quick little round, both of you. Who is your shero? This is Women's History Month, and who is your shero that helped to guide your thinking, your thoughts, or who is your shero in life? Whether
I'll go first. My shero is right there, Christine. There are times that I get so frustrated. I don't want to. I'm like, this thing is I don't know why people are not latching onto it as they should. I'm doing my best and I get burnt out. I mean, like you asked me about the governmental agencies coming to help. I also don't want to politicize this CUP thing because it's for everybody. It's for every girl child that we're trying to put in school. And one of the things that always keeps me going is whenever I get a call from Christine, she's so positive. Like she is extremely positive about this. She believes in the product. She can't wait to get it out to everybody. There's so much passion and there's so much love that she applies to making sure that everybody hears what this menstrual cup can do and how economical it can be and how rewarding, how much freedom the girl child is going to get for the next 10 years when they have one. I mean, she's the one person that keeps me going, not just with the period cups, but even with my NGO, because I've had so many issues during the pandemic. I can't go to the schools like I want to go and educate them and talk to them and give out the period cups and other things that I want to give them. But Christine is always so positive, always so, I don't even know the words to use, but she's so passionate.
That's awesome. She's an amazing woman.
She has so much drive and she keeps me going.
One 40 women over 40. You made that list. I've watched your work. You're doing a lot of great things across the globe. So
Christine is amazing.
That's amazing. So Christine, your turn.
Yeah, gosh. Oh, Jocelyn, you were sweet. Thank you. It's interesting when you first said that because I have the first person who came into mind is actually one of the young girls. And it is because there is a young girl in Mozambique, and a cyclone hit there that people called it of biblical proportions.
Oh.
And it was the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere, destroyed communities, displaced millions. And a little girl 16 years old at the time, she lost everything, her mother, her father, her house, every single thing. The little kids were taken up north to be with her uncle. And here she was in a resettlement camp, and by herself. She got terribly infected because she had no period product. And so the nurse at Central Hospital told her about, first she cleaned up her infection, then she told her about the cup, gave her the cup. I will tell you, this young woman is now in school and she wants to be a nurse. And when you ask her why she wants to be a nurse, it's because she wants to help people. And I think about the ways that she has lost everything, and the hope that she has gives all of us this sense that we need to just do whatever we can to make the world better, because there are people like her who are she's a hero. Because if I lost everything, I would not be out there. I'd be curled up in a bed somewhere. And so I think it's the young girls who struggle, and they get up every day and they say, no, not me. I'm going to finish my education and I'm going to make the world a better place. And so
that's beautiful. That is awesome. Well, ladies, we are changing the world one person at a time.
Yes.
And I really appreciate the work you're doing. You've educated me on something new and I'm excited about it. I'm going to take it to
You have
Malawi.
to tell us who your Shiro is.
My Shiro?
Yes.
Oh, I have so many, but my Shiro right now is Harriet Tubman, and I'm trying to get her on the $20 bill here.
wow.
Yeah.
So that's my passion right now. So yes, we'll be talking about the show. We will be talking a lot about different ladies that have blazed the trail for us, and whose shoulders we've stood on, and I'll be celebrating all these ladies. So thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for taking the time out to educate me and to educate my audience. And I am going to be taking this to Malawi, as I said, and I'm coming to see you soon in Joselyn, in Ghana. I was there a couple of years ago. I was crowned Queen Mother in Ghana, Central Region. So I want to take this up to all my girls in the Central Region. So
come and let's do this together.
Thank you so much. This has been very enlightening. And we are going to try to continue to do the best we can to make sure that every young girl have access to what they need in order that they can be the best they can be, their truest self. So again, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.